Thank you everyone for joining into this episode. Today I have a special guest. His name is Jean, and a lot of people mispronounce his name, especially on his podcast, and they say it's Jean, but it's not. It's Jean. It's Jean. And Jean, he also has a podcast, and at the end of the video, we're gonna also be talking about that, about what he does exactly. Also, in a bit, he's gonna introduce himself. If you'd like to check his episodes about entrepreneurship, success, everything, motivations, everything that keeps you running in life, you can go and check his podcast. And he had like really special guests on his show. Like, even if you have watched Shark Tank, he also have a guest. I'm not going to say who. He had a guest from Shark Tank on his podcast. So go over there. The link of his podcast is going to be in the description down below. Jean, thank you everyone for joining in this episode. قبل ما نبلش بالتوبيك إذا بدك تحب شوية تعرف عن حالك, where you came from, where you live, وهالقصص.
Of course. أول شيء, hi Ali. Thank you so much for having me and for this beautiful introduction. So my name is Jean. Hello everyone. I live in Lebanon. I've lived all my life in Lebanon. I've never traveled. And so I don't know what I am. I have a podcast. I'm a student. I create content. I just love to have fun. I love people, and I love to be happy. So that's basically it. And let's get right into it.
Nice. Okay, يلا. So بهالحلقة فكرت إنه نقدر نحكي عن success وهالقصص, لأنه نحن يعني خصوصا نحن اللبنانية في عنا هيدا, نحن في عنا هيدا economic crisis اللي عم بتصير بقلب لبنان. في عنا كتير هيدا من النوع إنه it's really hard to be successful بلبنان وهالقصص. بس في كتير ناس يعني ما بيعرفوا شو مفهوم الsuccess, what it is to be successful. in your opinion, what is success? What is the definition of success?
Okay, so in my opinion, I believe success is very individual to each person. And you cannot, no matter how you think, you cannot define success. Because if I go to you, Ali, and ask you what is success, and you tell me to have $1 million, that could be it. But for me, what if I already had $1 million and I don't consider myself successful? Maybe my dream is to travel the world, then I will be successful. Maybe it's the podcast. It's very individual to each person, and I believe that social media in a way creates this pressure that we all need to reach this specific success, and that it has certain standards, whether it's financial, social, or whatever the case is. So this is my point on success. As for me personally, I believe success starts the moment you decide to take action on your life. This is my own definition. I believe I am successful, even if maybe the numbers don't show it, the money doesn't show it. But I think I became successful the day I decided to start making my life my own, living the life I want to live.
Okay. It's interesting. لأنه like أنا بعرف شوي because I think you mentioned it على Clubhouse when كنا عم نحكي about success وقصص. لأنه some people say success is directly correlated with passion. يعني إذا أنت في عندك هالpassion تنقول to do something specific, إذا ما قدرت توصل للpassion معناتها you're not successful. بس أنا بعرف أنت في عندك passion كان غير عن أنت هلا عم تعمله. So do you believe هو is directly correlated with passion أو لا?
I used to believe it. ما رح كذب عليك. But this thing that success directly relates to passion, I totally disagree with it. Because what if for some people success is happiness or is finding peace? How can you be passionate about finding peace or passionate about being happy? You can be happy in whatever passion you decide to take on. And I believe that people change, so our passions can change. I had a passion in basketball a few years back, and because of injuries and surgeries in my knee, I can never practice basketball again or at a certain level. But that doesn't make me unsuccessful. It just made me change my passion and find new dreams that may have been better for me. And that's it. Success comes back to me taking action and trying to create the life that I want to create, no matter what I do. So this is my take on it.
اوكي فهمت عليك. يعني مثلا اذا واحد مثلا مثل ما انت قلت مثلا عنده باشن يلعب ما بعرف فوتبول بنقول مثلا،
Yeah.
وصار معه انجري، كان عم يمشي يتفركش انكسر كاحله، صار معه شيء بالضبط ما بقى يقدر يلعب فوتبول او طريقه احترافيه نوعا ما.
Yeah.
عشان في كتير ناس بيفوتوا بديبرشن and kind of unhappiness لانه في عندهم هذا الشيء بعقلهم انه يعني لازم لأن هذا my passion لازم توصل
كأنه
له
it's
لحتى
meant to
to
be.
be successful. So بتأثر عليك سلبيا. You
Exactly,
know.
exactly, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
يعني هيدا بنصير نفكر إنه whenever you find your first passion or a hobby that you get really good at بتفكر this is meant to be, this is it. لو شو ما صار ما في أعمل غير شيء. وإذا ما زبطت معنا, if it doesn't work out, we'll be devastated and crushed and like that's it. Life is over. There's no point in trying to do anything else. I'm not successful. I failed. And this is exactly what I felt when I first got injured. But then I was open to change. قلت إنه لا, maybe this happened. Maybe for me to find something new, and this is what happened. Maybe I would never have started this podcast. I would never be talking to you, never met you, if I have stayed in basketball, you know.
Yeah مزبوط. Yeah, it's true.
Life
يعني
happens after all. Life happens. There's
بالضبط
some things you can't control.
بالضبط. في كمان مثلا هيدي كمان ما راح اقول اسمه، بس بعرف شخص بلبنان وكان عنده على طول هذا الجول انه يسافر برات لبنان. رايت ضلوا تقريبا شي 6 سنين عليها لحتى قدر يعملها. you know. So اكيد صار في عرقلات بالجيرني تبعيته، شو صار خصوصا لما ضرب البانديميك وسكر
Yeah.
الدنيا كلها وقصص وهيك. So it's always like being open to pivot نوعا ما، يعني تبلش بشيء جديد وتسي how it goes، بس انه واحد ما يضله مفوكس على بس one goal. يعني انه هذا my passion
Yeah.
I have to do it.
Yeah. You know, ذكرتني ب one episode I had on my podcast. Someone told me, no, whenever you set a goal in life or a standard for success, if it's really what you're meant to get to, life will do everything كرمالك لتقدر توصل. If it's not something that you should go for, life will do everything in order to ruin it.
Yeah.
It's something I don't necessarily believe in, but it makes sense. You know.
Yeah.
And you find these obstacles that you cannot overcome, then suddenly you get a change of mind. You find a new goal that has a road that you really go into it and you really get to. And maybe this was always the right path. But again, this is just a theory.
Yeah,
Trying
مزبوط.
to throw the idea.
مثل قصة المانيفستيشن تبعت
Yeah.
هذا.
هي الثيوري كان اسمها priming, I think. That every human is primed to reach a certain point in life or a certain goal.
نايس و I think مش كتير عالم بيوصلوا لهالبرايم لأنه ما في يعني مثل كنا عم نحكي إنه قصة الباشن والسكسس وقصص وهيك.
You know, ما في بالنهاية life is not all rainbows and sunshines, you know. Shit happens. ما فيك تعمل شيء. بس it's about how you react to it or how you decide to change. إنه أنا كان في ضلني كل الوقت بعدني لهلا زعلان كيف ما في بقى ألعب باسكت. Nothing would have stopped me. وما بقول لك لا, I still wish that I can play basketball. It's still my passion. I love it. بس it is what it is على القد. I decided to make the most out of what I can do.
Yeah. مزبوط.
Here I am.
مزبوط. Yeah. طيب أنت يعني كهيك personal opinion، نحن عم مثلا بلبنان في عنا كتير ناس عم تقول إنه I can't reach success لأنه شو عم يصير بقلب لبنان. Is that true؟
Yeah.
برأيك؟
It can depend on what success is for this specific person. بس most likely لا, لأنه success is not too dependent بال outside factors. يعني for example economy بالبلد خربان مش يعني your own personal economy has to be خربانة. You know most of all people that in crisis is the time where you can make the most money.
Yes.
So we're not relating success to money, but this is a very simple example.
لأنه في كتير ناس بيشوفوا success as money.
But history proves it. People get rich in crisis.
Yes, that's true.
And this turns into a cash flow that times are good.
Yeah.
But in crisis is where you build the most. It's where you need to build the most.
Exactly. That's true لأنه مثلا صار مثلا real estate crash بال 2008 في كتير ناس صاروا يشتروا وقت من بعد ما صار الكراش وصاروا غنية من بعدها.
مظبوط
لما صار
مظبوط
الستوك ماركت والكريبتو كراش بمارش من وراء البانديميك، صار كتير ناس صاروا يشتروا.
يا
قديش طلع الكريبتو من وقتها، قديش طلع الستوك ماركت
على قد
من بعد
على قد
هالكراش.
وناس بنفس الوقت خسروا.
exactly
It's just it's how life happens. It's
yeah
how investment or business happens.
exactly
People win, people lose.
yeah مزبوط
Yeah,
مزبوط.
yeah.
طيب انت what do you think are like the key points to achieve success؟ تنقول مثلا واحد هلا بلبنان قاعد بلبنان في عنده kind of vision, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think you can provide steps on how to go forward to achieve this success؟ عشان أول شيء حكينا إنه it doesn't have to be directly correlated with passion. بس إذا
Yeah.
واحد عنده شيء vision قدامه he wants to succeed in it, what do you think are like the steps for it؟
You know, صراحة, I think the first key step for anyone to reach success is to clearly define what success is to him or her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you cannot reach success if you don't know what this
What
success
this
is.
person yeah
وأهم شيء, do not attach your success to another person's achievement. يعني
Mhm.
not your idols or people you look up to, تشوفوا what they are doing and say, okay, this is my success. Find your own thing, find what you actually love to do, not just the results that you see.
Mhm.
Because, you know, all Ferraris are nice, but not everyone bought a Ferrari with the same way of getting the money.
Mhm.
Some people
Exactly.
became doctors, other people became engineers, some people invested. No, the Ferrari is nice,
Mhm.
but you have to see the process. Why not have a process that is fun to get to a result that is fun?
Mhm.
So the key step is to clearly define what success is to you as an individual. Then you will understand the steps that you need to take in order to reach the success. And once you put on these steps, start relating them to outside factors if you need to. Because maybe some steps are not achievable in Lebanon. Maybe you need to achieve them somewhere else. But in most cases, I still believe that you can achieve whatever success you want to in Lebanon if your success is not related to travel.
Yeah.
Maybe someone's goal is to travel, then of course not. They have to leave because this is their goal. But business, investing, they could be done from Lebanon in most cases. Again,
100%.
we don't live in a perfect world.
يا طبيعي 100% I do
Yeah.
agree. تنقول مثلا هلا مثلا انت مثل ما انت هلا قلت يعني على فكره اعطيت انت بلان كتير قويه. مثلا let's say في واحد بلبنان عايش بلبنان بده يسافر على كندا او يهاجر على كندا رايت. مثلا لانه كندا في عندها اوبشنز لحتى يهاجر عليها لازم يكون مثلا انفست او بيلد ستارت اب مثلا بكندا وهالقصص. So like the first steps would be مثلا انه to have enough money to invest بكندا ليفتح الستارت اب وهالقصص وهيك.
Yeah, it could be كمان understanding شو عايز to go to Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly define what you need.
Exactly, and then you can make مثلا you can make a plan on how to make this money and how to fund. وهن في كتير عالم بفوتوا بمشكلة انه ما في وظائف، ما في جوبز، ما في ما اعرف شو، ما فيش مصاري، الايكونومي بالهدف. اوكي تعرف انجلش، حط كونتنت اونلاين، عمال انت بيج لاندنج بيج عمال على شيء معين واوفر يور سيرفيسز اونلاين وشوي start to build it, you know, like في كذا قصص بيقدر واحد من هون ومن هون يصير جمع. بس واحد يقول ما هلا بدي اخصم $5 و$10 yes صمدن you know.
You know, it takes hard work. One of the downsides of success, sorry to break it to you guys, but it needs hard work.
Yeah.
There's no shortcut to it. And you have to work for it. You know, unless your family are millionaires, then you have to work for it.
Yeah, 100%. نحن بلبنان عنا هذه المنتاليتي انه ما الكل برا اللبنانيه اللي برا are successful لانه عايشين برا ومعهم مصاري, which is not true, you know.
You have to see how they got لبرا. You have to see قديش اشتغلوا to actually get لبرا, وبس صاروا برا قديش اشتغلوا صاروا successful if they are يعني if I post 100 achievements on my Instagram, you might see me as successful because you do not know what success is to me. بس يمكن I'm not successful, but these are just things that I do.
Yeah. بالضبط.
Don't get blindsided or don't get like taken by just pictures and achievements and anything.
Yeah, أنا هاي كمان ولا مرة قايلها I think online, بس صار معي شيء كتير حلو نوعا ما. كنت أنا هون بألمانيا رايت. سو كنت وقع بضيقة مادية كتير قوية لدرجة انه لايك بطل معي مصاري ابدا رايت. سو لا اجار لا تأمين ولا شيء. سو بس هيك مشي حالي شوي. I was working بجوب وقصص وهيك. نزلت على لبنان رايت. سو بشوف اهلي وشوف رفقاتي وهيك. رفيقي شو بيقول لي اي ما بأثر عزمنا ما انتوا الاجانب معكم مصاري you know. So
Yeah.
بس هيدي كانت الكونتراديكشن بين شهر وشهر نوعا ما. عرفت علي؟ So عنا
Yeah.
هيدي الفكرة انه كل اللي برا لا بالعكس everyone works hard for their money you know. ومش واحد برا he's an exception. بالعكس شو انا يعني هلا اذا واحد قاعد برا قاعد بتخت وعم يجي مصاري كل يوم يعني انه it doesn't make sense you know.
Yeah.
طب انت
It can be easier.
Yeah.
It can be easier تكون برا. مش easier بس you may have more resources but it's work is work.
exactly.
No one's gonna pay you for existing.
اف هي كتير قوية. I like it.
أول مرة يقلبوا لها.
عن جد لازم تلاقي كتبها. عن جد كتير حلوة.
بعت لك اياها واتساب ما راح انسيها.
عن جد. طيب خبرنا شوي اذا انت بتحب to be open
Yes.
about this. اذا فيك تخبرنا شوي عن your personal experience about success غير انه like to go more deeply into it.
Yeah. So بدك احكي عن الباسكتبول بالاول ولا بدك احكي عن البودكاست ولا كيف؟
مثل ما انت بدك اللي بترتاح انت فيه.
Okay, so أول شيء you know as any kid who played basketball he wanted to you know reach the NBA no matter what. I'm not a tall guy so that was something. It's an obstacle you know. Okay هلا فيكم تسموا لي لعيبه كثير قصار وصلوا على NBA but these are specific cases. And when I got the injuries, I got my first injury. Then I said to myself, okay, I'll just go to rehab and fix it. وبرجع مثل قبل. Hear people that got injured before. But after that, I got another injury. Then went to a hospital, did a surgery. Then I knew I just had to face it that I did not fail at basketball, but maybe my success that is related to basketball is not going to work, and no miracle will happen. ما في شيء اسمه nothing is impossible. It's totally bullshit بالنسبة لإلي. And this is what happened and I had to accept it. I had the choice to either go into a depression and be devastated and never do anything else, or try to see something new, try new things, and maybe see if I can succeed, or maybe set new goals, new standards for success in anything else. So this is what I did, and I decided to go into business. And I started to set milestones, or like when I reach this then I'm on the right track, when I reach this I'm on the right track. And I went through so many failures you know. I started 4 businesses, all of them went bankrupt, I lost all my money. Of course it's ما عندنا مصاري كتير. ما راح كذب حدا, I wasn't a millionaire يعني, just a couple of thousands. And then I decided to actually look into what I love and look into what I enjoy. شو أكتر شيء gives me the joy and happiness and fun. It's all about fun, man, you know. It's one life. Why would you not have fun every moment?
Yeah.
So because someone told me this. أنا قبل كنت شوف who's the most successful on Instagram. Okay, this is who I want to be like. Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, or even Lebanese people. You know, they post money, they post cars, and like, wow, this is it. Someone does drop shipping. This is what I have to do to become successful. Yeah. Somebody is a coach. This is what I have to do to become successful. And I did all these things. I tried them. I put money in them. But I saw, okay, I may be making money, but I'm not enjoying it. I'm not having fun. What's the point? So I started to look into myself. What do I love? There are three things basically. I love people. I love stories. I love to hear about people. I'm that guy who really likes to hear everything about a specific person, or whatever he or she enjoys sharing, you know. This is why I make a lot of rooms on Clubhouse about travel and stories and experience, because I just love to hear about people. And fun. I love having fun, whether it's hiking, whether it's adrenaline activities, what business, شو ما كان. So I found that doing a podcast or creating content is the best way to have them all. I get to have people, I get to know stories and tell stories, and I get to have fun, and I actually enjoy it. I love to
Nice.
talk and I love to hear people talk. So the moment I decided to start the podcast is the moment I became successful, according to my own standards.
Okay.
So that's it. Long story short, yeah, this is it. I had a goal to do 100 episodes, but then I realized that it's actually really easy to do 100 episodes. I just talk to 100 people and do random 100 episodes. But then I thought, why not make 100 episodes that are of very high quality, very high value? So I focused on the guests and their stories more on getting the numbers. So that's it, man.
Nice.
That's my
Interesting.
personal experience.
Interesting. اللي حبيت كمان انه كنت عم تحكي عن past businesses يلي ما مشي حالهم قبل، بس بالنسبة لك the moment you became successful هو لما بلشت شيء doesn't make you any money. يعني واحد لما في عنا نحن هيدا اليوتيوبر انه بلشت يوتيوب صار معك مصاري، شو خص هاي بهاي
عندك مينيموم 3-4 سنين قبل ما تشوف ليرة
نقلي. بالضبط so يعني بالنسبة لك كانت السكسس انت لما بلشت تحكي تعمل episodes about
zero money man, zero money, and I'm super successful بعتبر حالي هلا. Before I wanted to do public speaking. It's one of the best things I believe. But I wanted to do public speaking, but I did not understand because I did not have a clear goal. I did not understand شو لازم أعمل in order for someone to invite me to go and do a public speech. So I asked around and I got a beautiful answer that was just do what you love, keep doing it, and lead by example. You don't have to push people and share random quotes and تبين هالmotivation guy. Just do what you love and document it. That's it. I'm super. If you go see my stories before this podcast, I was super excited, man. I posted stories. Guess what's happening? Guess what I'm doing? Because I'm really excited. I'm happy to do it. I don't want anyone to invite me over anything. And that أنا ما قلت لك علي please invite me to your podcast for example. I just did what I love and the opportunity came. Same thing for a public speech event. I had it in December 27, 2020. I still remember. I had 100 people, man. It was live on stage. It was the greatest moment of my life. But I did not get to it by taking shortcuts and asking people, please get me to your public speaking event أو خليني أطلع أحكي. I just did what I had to do. I focused on myself only. And the opportunity came.
بالضبط exactly. ذكرتني كمان مرة صارت معي انه وصلني ايميل انه في جريدة تكتب عني right من بعد السكتس اللي كنت انا عم بعملها على اليوتيوب channel، وكان عندي وقتها بس I think not best بس انه بوقتها like 10,000 subscribers I think. So وعملت معه مقابلة على التليفون وكتبت كل المعلومات و they published it so وأنا I wasn't anticipating it like كنت أنا
You did not ask for it كمان.
No كنت عم بعمل أنا هيك comedy skits و going for it so
This is the beauty of it. This is the beauty of it, man. مش هيك they say opportunity or luck actually is opportunity meeting preparedness. You did not ask for this journal article, but you were prepared because you were focusing on yourself and you know what you're doing. You're doing something you love. هلا إذا anyone asks you a random question about something that you do and you passionately do, you will know the answer without preparation.
مظبوط 100%. Exactly. عن جد this was really like very inspiring، خصوصي لحدا مثلا بقلب لبنان كان بقلب لبنان عم يسمع عن هالموضوع، انه اذا عندك vision what to do just go for it, start posting content. بتحب تحكي افتح الفيديو بلش احكي like عن جد like
it's gonna suck من هلا اعملكم it's gonna suck. I always repost this on Mondays. Your first podcast will suck, your first video will suck, your first everything will suck, even your 50th.
Exactly.
But you won't get better if you don't get started.
me انا يعني the first videos that I did هذا اللي بتشوفون low quality الكاميرا
هيدا الحلو man. هيدا الحلو. You go on your own channel, you see your first video and you see your newest video, you're like damn
when كانت
I actually started man.
exactly 100% عن جد. thank you very much انه كنت معي بالبودكاست and for sharing that inspiring story that happened with your personal experience. فأي حدا like عن جد يعني عنده vision to just start now. and أنا وجون كمان موجودين على الانستغرام so you can also check us out. حدا عنده أي أسئلة فيكم تحكونا. We're all about motivating people انه يروحوا ويبلشوا بالشيء اللي بدهم اياه. ان كنا بلبنان، كان برات لبنان there's always ways to do it. There's always ways. Just think outside the box. وما يكونوا we understand انه الاتموسفير بلبنان ممكن شوي it's يعني بتغلي قصص، يعني بصير واحد ابطنه، يعني بطل يقدر يشوف برات
some
هذا
roads may
النفق
be
شو عم
harder
بيصير
than others, but you will get to it eventually.
exactly. So don't be afraid to just think outside the box. إذا حدا بده شيء فيكم تحكونا. Thank you, Jean, for
thank you, Relax. Thank you, Ali, for giving me the time and giving me the opportunity to go on your platform, which is, I believe, 40 times bigger than mine.
Thank you.
To go and share my story.
Thank you. And thank you everyone also for watching this episode, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.